can't even believe I said it.
You know what? I can.
Back in 2023, the Alec Bradley Cigar Group sold to the Scandinavian Tobacco Group for $72.5 million, Fingers Malloy.
We offered $69.3 million.
Just got beat out. Pity, too. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. And this from Alec Bradley, going back to, I think, 2019 is when this cigar came out. This is the Gatekeeper. We're doing the Toro right here, which is a 6x52, which means it's 6 inches long. Always makes Fingers Malloy laugh. And the ring gauge is a 52, the diameter of the cigar, or how thick it is around. Again, with the laughter. So a 64 ring gauge would be a full 1 inch around. Toro is where that to me is the low end of length. That's where I like to be. I smoke Robustos, of course, but that's not my everyday. This, Into the Churchill, is where I like to play. Hey, I'm not right for you. You do what you have to do. First things first. This is an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper here. Nicaraguan, the binder and the filler. There's some Dominican in the filler as well. That wrapper feels so great. It's got oil. It's got grit. It is brown with that mottled black, almost streaking through the wrapper there. And feels it. There's heft. There, yeah, you say it.
It's beefy.
It does. You actually do feel the cigar, not light in the hand at all. Is this your first time having the Gatekeeper, Fingers?
I believe so.
It is not for me. It is not my first time having the Gatekeeper. First time today, just not my first time.
You always remember your first.
That's not true at all. There's so many cigars. I'm like, I don't remember having this whatsoever. I don't remember. If it wasn't for the notebooks and it wasn't for the show, that's how I go back. Like the show is my notebook. Go back and take a look. But it feels great and it looks great. You've had Alec Bradley cigars before, and I think that as a brand, they've always been lovely people, but it's been kind of hit or miss as a cigar for me. There's some things I've enjoyed and some things I haven't. There's some things I thought were so silly, like the Texas Toast, which was like an 8x80 kind of ring gauge, just an absolute monster. Maybe it was only 70 ring gauge, but still absolutely huge.
Did they do a cigar? It was called the Black Magic or
Magic Toast.
Magic Toast.
Magic Toast was the cigar that I thought for Alec Bradley, like kind of reset them. Like, oh, okay, we're back to doing interesting things, right? And then the sons, Alec and Bradley, they started doing some of their own work, and I thought they did nice stuff. Now that's this. This is an Alec and Bradley, the Gatekeeper right here, and I always thought that this was just a nice, worthwhile, basic smoke in the humidor. And I don't mean basic in a bad way. I'm just saying this isn't break the bank kind of stuff. This isn't gonna second mortgage time. Just good quality. Easy to do, easy to find, easy to get access to. Boom. What else could you ask for?
Not much more than that. I can tell you, we just lit this. We're just in the first third of the cigar. And right off the bat, it popped into my head like a toast. There's like a little bit of a bready sweetness to it and a nuttiness as well for me. As I'm starting to smoke a little bit more, as I'm getting a little bit more into the first third, I am noticing from the light to now, there has been a pepper that has been building.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I've just lit this up, so I don't think I am there that yet. This is certainly, there's a little bit of wood that's actually, I think it's the wood, the cedar that's relaying the spice on the tongue.
Okay,
that's playing middle tongue front to back. I like where you are with nuttiness. I think so. I think this is an interesting presentation of tobacco forward, right? I think that's what you're actually getting out of this. And so it presents itself with this, you're calling it pepper, and I'm telling you, I think that spice that you're getting, and for me, it's middle of tongue, front to back, is actually the cedar, and it's an intensity of wood flavor.
Okay, you could make that argument.
And so I did.
Who am I to argue with you?
Because if that's pepper, that is not black pepper. I would say that is a white pepper concentrate almost into bits of red pepper. Like there's a little bit of heat that's building from it. And that's why I think it's actually the cedar playing a trick on you.
It's not the first time cedar has played a trick on me.
We know you have fallen for wood in all sorts of ways.
That is so true. Having said that, moving back to the cigar, the draw is very pleasant, very easy. The hand feel, you mentioned it earlier, it's got a nice bit of heft to it. So far, so good.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to like here. I think there's a lot to really work with in this cigar. You want to get your notebooks, right? What did you eat today? What did you drink today? The weather. We have had beautiful weather in Indianapolis. Still warmer than I think people want it to be for October. I'm not complaining.
I met up with a group of friends, and they made an observation that I really hadn't noticed, is that because it's been so warm, the leaves really haven't changed as much as they should have. Or how much you would expect them to at this time of year?
No, there's no reds and there's no yellows. Everything is still really, really green going on. You want to get your notebooks out, guys. What did you eat today? What did you drink today? It's that weather we're talking about. And then take the cigar, break it up into thirds. First third, second third, final third. First third where you light it from, that is the foot. The final third is where you're smoking from. That is the cap where you cut. Did a shallow cut on this. Fingers did a very shallow cut on him. Very, very impressive, sir. Then what are the flavors you're getting? Write them down. Doesn't matter how weird it is, what kind of flavors you think you're getting, as esoteric or as base, and then write it down for each third. Then when you smoke the cigar a month from now, 6 months from now, whatever it is, you do it again. And that's where you get your through line. You make your comparisons. What are the flavors you're really getting out of this smoke?
Any flavor, no matter how crazy it may look in print. I just wrote down on my little notebook here, Oreo McFlurry.
Is that what you wrote down? I don't think you did. I just want to say, I think the people are tired of your embellishments.
How dare you?
They think that you are making a mockery of the cigar game.
Are you saying that there are people in Eat, Drink, Smoke Nation that think I'm turning this show into my own den of lies? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying to me? How dare you, sir?
I do think, because we do get asked this question a lot. We agree with you. No, not the den of lies part. There are a lot of sites out there doing a lot of cigar reviews, and people are going to do what they do, and we let them, and some of them we think are really, really excellent. There are people doing some really cool stuff, and there are some people who come up with some descriptions where we want you to know that we know that you know that they're full of crap. We all know it. We're all fully aware of it. We've kind of mocked it in our own unique way, like when people say, I taste marzipan. God bless you. Who am I to say? I don't think I've ever tasted that in a cigar, actually. We've joked about it before. We try and just bring it to you as we see it, as directly as we can.
Like saying something like, there's a hint of apricot, but organic apricot.
Right. Yeah. No, you didn't. No, you. Some people really have palates, but I think sometimes people are trying really hard. Is this cigar worth it? We'll tell you in a moment. This is Eat, Drink, Smoke. Not everybody deserves a tip, and not everything deserves a tip. If you want a tip, though, send those to eatdrinksmokeshow.com. We'd sure appreciate it.
Would we?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what the tip is.
Right.
Like, if it's monetary, that kind of tip, that would be great. If it's fingers, you should do a sit-up. I don't want that kind of tip.
Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is fitness influencer Fingers Malloy. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. We have all felt it, the tip fatigue, the idea of every place now sets up to, hey, do you want to leave a tip? The story from the New York Post, now it gets a little confusing. They say the average consumer spends $150 per week on unnecessary tips, according to a survey. It was done by a group called Pop Menu, which is where I believe you go, Fingers, for all your pop menu advice.
That is so true. They are great over there, all their pop menu.
But
stuff.
in the article, it reads that over the last year, people have paid around $150 in tips on average that they didn't feel were necessary. 44% tipping in places they don't think it's customary. Now, I would argue that $150 a week is probably too much, and $150 a year is probably too little. So I think, I don't even know where that number is. I think the story is, I don't want to tip my barista, just make my coffee, fix my latte.
Fix my latte. By the way, that'll be the name of this episode when it's in podcast form. Having said that, I'll give you an example. So the other day, I have 72 gigs. I work 112 hours a week.
Right.
I stopped for lunch.
Oh, did you?
Yes. At a pizza joint.
Oh, you got out of the car?
Yes, I got out of the car.
That's rare.
But this pizza joint really should have a drive-through. It's one of those pizza joints. All I wanted was their loaf of bread. And let's just say their deal on that loaf of bread was crazy. I got the loaf of bread. Okay.
I don't know what that means. I can't figure out where you were based on that.
Crazy bread. Little Caesar's Pizza.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My God, man. I was at Little Caesar's. Crazy bread. You've never had crazy bread before?
No.
Oh, we need to make that happen.
Oh, okay. Do I go now?
Don't tempt me with a good time. So I went and got the crazy bread. I had to go in, so I burned 3 calories. So I was doing my part to work off the crazy bread before I even consumed the whole loaf by myself. They give you a loaf of bread. It's covered in
butter?
Yes. It's covered in Parmesan and butter and space age polymer.
This isn't a breadstick.
No, it's a loaf.
It's an actual, like, you could slice it and make sandwiches.
No, it's breadsticks.
Okay.
And they got Parmesan all over it, and it's a festival of flavor. And they give you a little thing of marinara sauce for dipping.
Right.
So, say I'd like that. Shopkeep, give me your best crazy bread. And she said, okay, absolutely. She goes in the back, and she said, run your credit card, and then there'll be a question for you. For crazy bread at Little Caesars. So I went ahead and tipped because 10% was 71 cents. But still, that's ridiculous.
Do they get to see whether or not you tipped or not on the other side?
Yeah, what they do is at the door, right next to the chart that shows how tall you are as you're walking out the door in case you rob the place, there's a little blinking green light showing if you tipped or not.
Okay.
That's my guess. I could be making that whole
Yeah,
thing
you
up.
shouldn't have to tip for that, and it's wrong to ask, and I don't do it.
You don't?
I don't. As a matter of course, I don't. If I tipped everywhere the way the machine tries to order you to do so, I wouldn't be able to afford my mortgage. It's an insane proposition. Now, the idea of I don't tip for crazy bread, but I tip for coffee is equally insane, because in both cases, make your own. What are you going out for crazy bread for?
I was on the road. I had been away from home for several hours, away from my bread oven to be able to make my own bread. I have an oven specific for bread.
Right.
It's an
He
easy.
built it himself.
It's an easy bake oven. Having said that, so I wanted the bread. It sounded good, and if you had ever had crazy bread, you would understand.
I don't know how I'm fat. I don't understand what is happening with my body chemistry.
Having said that, and you're not fat, you are stocky.
So much better. Oh, hello, ladies. Impressed now?
Having said that, when you get on, I shouldn't be asking you this because you don't eat bread to begin with, but
I do love it, though.
okay, so if you get a sandwich, you order ahead of time through an app, sandwich shop, you get sandwiches for the family. Do you tip them?
I've never done that a day in my life. I have never gotten sandwiches for the family, ever. Maybe we stopped at a Subway before if we're traveling, but hey, everybody, let's go out for lunch and get sandwiches. In my lifetime, unless we were online at Katz's Deli to have some pastrami, never once have I done that. Never once.
Oh, there are so many great sandwiches.
No, if it's a restaurant, yes.
But if they make the sandwich, they wrap it up in the
No.
paper, they put it in a bag for you.
Stop
They're
it.
kind enough for each sandwich. They're like, Tony's sandwich. Write it on the wrap. Fingers sandwich. Finger sandwich? Anyway, you don't think it's necessary to tip those people, the sandwich artists?
No.
No.
I don't think it's necessary to pay you. It's wrong. It is absolutely wrong. You didn't do any work. You did the job that you were paid to do. The whole idea of tipping in a restaurant is a different scenario, is a different thought process because there is a service that's happening. I have discussed this before, and I actually had to have words with friends of mine I was out with where the server is putting things down and they're taking the plate from the server and I'm expected to do that. No. I spent $220 on dinner for 5 people.
Yes.
I am not taking their plate and putting it down. Put it in front of me. Do the job. Otherwise, what am I paying for? I have to clean up after myself too, and I have to tip 20% plus, which I go above in certain places. I go above 20% because I have a reputation to uphold. But no,
You know what I do in those situations?
What?
I act like the blackjack dealer, and I clap my hands and I wave them to my sides, and then I put my hands down. These plates are clean now, and then they take them away. One more thing, though.
Sure.
You know how a couple of weeks ago I mentioned that a certain grocery store has declared war on their customers?
That's correct.
Yes. I've been in there since on 4 different occasions. About 5 or 6 days after we went on that rant about that grocery store, nobody's in there anymore. I'm taking full credit. So the folks in there that were going in there being hassled by solicitors, it's not happening anymore. You can thank Eat, Drink, Smoke for that.
Now, if you don't know what Fingers is talking about, you have to listen to the last month of podcasts in order to understand, because he wanted to make sure he was vague enough so you'll go listen and still tried not to get sued.
Exactly.
Oh, we're getting sued. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. Eat, Drink, Smoke. It is your cigar, bourbon, foodie extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. Find everything at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. And yes, we'd love to come to your town. You got to tell your local radio station that carries Eat, Drink, Smoke to bring us out. Let's smoke together. Let's drink together. Let's fall in love and make a baby.
And we'll even write a song together.
Make a baby.
And the song will be about the baby.
Smoking the Alec Bradley Gatekeeper right here, 6x52. It is a spicier stick than I remember. And again, if we're gonna talk pepper, I'm playing into the white peppers, but I really do think it is the intensity of that wood. I would like a little more sweetness, a little more tobacco. A little to balance this out. It's an enjoyable cigar, but man, is it present. Are you fully aware of what's happening?
Yeah, for me, that sweetness was there at the light. I mentioned kind of a toasted, like a bready sweetness, and then that's kind of subsided. That pepper, I think it's a pepper.
Call it what you will.
But maybe it's cedar that's overwhelming the palate. I don't know. All I know is it's there, and it's nice. And then also there's that nuttiness has kind of subsided as well. That's still there, but not like it was when we first lit this and we were in the first third of the cigar. Having said all that, I like what I'm experiencing with this cigar, between the flavor profile and then also, it has been pretty low maintenance, nice, pleasant draw. The hand feel, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, is great. Yeah, it's a good stick.
Yeah. Now the question, of course, Fingers Malloy, is this in your humidor for $13 a stick?
Yes.
I could see how this works for a lot of people. I can see how this is something where they like it bigger, like it bolder. I thought it interesting. The guys over there, I should say the ladies over there, I should say the people over there. I shouldn't be sexist. At Neptune Cigar, and I happen to like their site. We don't have a business relationship with Neptune. There are a couple of people doing some really good work with online cigar sales. I like the cleanliness of their site. I think it's pretty easy. Descriptions are there, ratings are there. They categorize this as a medium. I think you got to play a little stronger than that. Right? You're medium plus, but you're not in the middle. It's a little bit more than that. You're not at full, but you're full curious. You're full questioning. I think that's the way this cigar goes.
I'd agree with you on that. Yeah, medium, because you hear medium and you think, oh, it's not going to hit me. And I'm not saying this is like a full punch in the face, but it lets you know it's there.
So this is not for yard work. This is, I would also argue, unless you've had the cigar already, not for a golf course. Do not bring this cigar to your buddies and say, hey, have this. There's just a lot of heat, spice, that wood concentration happening here. It's not going to be for everybody.
And depending on how cigars impact your day, I wouldn't smoke this on an empty stomach.
It's actually not a bad idea. And it's not because it's overwhelming. I think that spice might hit people. That cedar hit people the wrong way. All that said, for $12.70, I think it's a fine stick. I think it's a fine price. And I think you probably could find deals on it because the cigar's been around for a while. It's that this is a cigar where you buy the cigar. Buy two, as we often discuss it. Try it now. Try it a month from now. And then after both those times, like, you know what? I enjoy those flavors, or there's a place for it in my humidor. Then go do it. But this isn't the cigar like, oh, everybody's over. Okay, here's what we're doing. This is more specific, I think, to palate. This is for your friends who smoke cigars, and if like, hey, you want to try something with some punch, try something with some heat, but not overwhelming. The Alec and Bradley Gatekeeper. We're doing the Toro right here. But it's time, Fingers Malloy, for News of the Week.
Well, Tony, NPR has the story. And, as we put the show together, of course, this story can change 30 times in the next few hours. But a fragile Gaza ceasefire is tested after Israel and Hamas swap detainees and hostages.
So what we've got here, and first things first, I don't care where your politics are. It is so good that these hostages are home. It is a remarkable thing that has taken place. Anytime we were able to assist hostages getting out of that hell is good. This is incredible, incredible stuff. But you've been hearing numbers 20 and 28. The 20 were those living. What the Israelis want are the remains of everyone. And that is where, and remember, as we're recording this, right, it's earlier than you're hearing it, so things may have changed. So forgive us if we're not on top of it to that latest bit of news. They're very slow in the remains, and it's very possible that Hamas has removed the remains, has not kept them. The Israelis want to give proper burials. This is about Judaism. This is about respect. This is about honor, and they're very serious about this, and they're very angry about it. And there's been a slow roll of remains being returned. They were supposed to be returned. Only 4 were returned at last, as we're discussing it right now, as we have the information right now. And that can put an end to this whole thing. That can put an end to this very quickly. What then got followed up from President Trump and these world leaders in Sharm el-Sheikh, which is in Egypt, was the idea of how you do a building of the Gaza Strip. And it's very interesting because what these nations are saying is, all right, we'll buy in. And if that is the case, if it happens like that, of course, they're putting their money in. They're going to be very concerned about protecting their investment. And that is what ends Hamas's capability, because they won't put up with it. They won't have it. And that's where the real change in this conversation is. Not this fantasy of a two-state solution. You can't live next to people who want to murder you. And as Hamas has written in their charter, in their creed, it's who they are. So this changes the dynamic. And I have my own thoughts, my own views. If a way I didn't think about it can work and create a safe Israel, and therefore putting an end to terrorists, I'm all in. Putting an end to terrorists, I'm all in. But this is not a good sign as we're seeing it right now.
Well, I hesitated to bring this up because, of course, like you mentioned, we're putting the show together a little earlier than normal, and the story can change 50 times between now and when it airs. But this is just too big of a story to not at least touch upon. But having said that, to be completely honest with you, you and I have talked about this off air. I was actually surprised that there were still hostages alive.
I am amazed. I am thrilled. It was the fear of fears that there would be nobody to hand over. It is spectacular that 737 days in hell. It is spectacular that people have been able to return home. But this is the stuff being talked about in the Cigar Lounge, so we talk about it here. So we're certainly right to be talking about it. And yes, as we're discussing it, information will change. But this is all fraught, absolutely, positively fraught. The odds of this working as advertised, 3%.
Yeah.
Right? It's Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. There's a chance. I'm not going to argue it. It's just, this is hard stuff.
It is. And while I appreciate the celebration, especially about hostages coming home and maybe a return to at least a period of nonviolence in the region, you just have to say to yourself, okay, how long is this going to last? Just based on what's happened in the past.
Yeah, it's and off the quick doesn't look great. And man, I want to be wrong. I think everybody wants to be wrong. And there's an extent, if we're talking about America, just don't want to talk about it anymore. Can I please focus on something else?
Right.
I don't know if we're going to get lucky or not. I hope so. Keep it here. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. Should you marinate your steak before the cooking? And the answer is, well, it depends. What do you like? But it does, to an extent, depend on the cut. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Find it all at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. The story was over at the takeout. The 4 cuts of steak you should always marinate before grilling. Now, before we get into anything, do you ever marinate steaks?
No.
You're not into the marinades?
No. A little salt, a little pepper. That's about it. I season it. I don't. It's very rare that I would marinate a steak. But if I were to marinate a steak, it would generally be maybe a lesser cut of meat that I would marinate to try to enhance the flavor, and then I would slow cook it, do a reverse sear to maybe help with the tenderness of the steak.
So the idea is, depending on where the steak comes from, larger cuts, whole muscle cuts, maybe could get the marinade. And so they recommend here a marinade on your flat iron steak, your sirloin steak, your tri-tip, and your skirt steak. Now, skirt steak, yes, because that's going to be thinner. That's going to cook faster, and it absorbs better. It's just a natural to do with a kind of marinade there. Skirt steak coming from the middle of the cow, it could be a little bit tough. So helping break that down a little bit. I agree with that wholeheartedly. On the sirloins, I like the idea of this because you'll find the sirloins right now at a better price if you're in a store. But if you're going to think of a sirloin as your ribeye or your strip, you're wrong. It's not how it's going to come out, and you're going to get disappointed. So what I like about the marinade on a sirloin is that you are forced to recognize that it's something different. You're forced to take a little bit of time, and that little bit of time, I think, is going to give you a lot of result. Soy and honey. Okay. Soy sauce and honey as a marinade, just a classic right there, I think can do a really, really good job. Some people would say go with some more Southwestern flavors. They recommend the lime juice, cilantro, and chiles. And then some people recommend orange juice. I have marinated steaks in orange juice before and had miserable results. Miserable, terrible, awful, not good, not like stuff that I made is part of like a whole bunch of things and I didn't even serve them. That could have just been me not making it right. But as a concept, it is right when it's not one of those standard cuts as Fingers is talking about, salt, pepper, grill.
Yeah. And I've never attempted to use this as a marinade, but the takeout in this piece suggests for skirt steak, maybe using yogurt as a marinade. Have you ever used yogurt for a marinade?
Wait, on the skirt steak?
Yes.
No.
Yogurt makes for a milder marinade for your meat than citrus or vinegar, since it contains lactic acid, a substance that can add moisture to meat without making it mushy.
Mushy. Right.
When I think yogurt on steak, I think mushy.
I don't. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Now, the key here is get better steak, and that's why you want Defiance Beef. DefianceBeef.com in Indiana, shipped directly to your door, cut to your specifications, aged 21 days. The meat is fantastic. I have had the strips, I've had the ribeyes, I've had the tenderloins, I have had the ground beef. It is fantastic. And you order your quarter cow, your half cow, your full cow, and you use promo code Eat Drink Smoke. When you order, you're going to get $150 off. And then after the aging process, they're going to give you a call and say, okay, what do you want? And based on what size you ordered, they'll be like, okay, we'll get you this many strips and this many ribeyes, and how do you want it cut, and this and that. Do you want the soup bones? That was the question I got asked. Do you want the soup bones? I'm like, yes, I do. I'm going to make my own beef broth. Of course, my own beef stock, without question. Defiance, DEFIANCE. DefianceBeef.com is where you want to order from. And you want to use promo code Eat, Drink, Smoke and get $150 off your order. And Fingers, we've done enough grilling. It matters. You know, if I'm doing briskets, I only do prime briskets or kosher briskets. I have tried choice. I have not had satisfaction. I'll pay more. With Defiance Beef overall, when you're buying a quarter cow, a half cow, or a full cow at DefianceBeef.com, you're going to pay less than the supermarkets for sure. Those prices are nuts.
How often do you find yourself picking up a flat iron steak or skirt steak?
I find myself with a flat iron if there's some kind of deal going on. Skirt steak, I don't order enough. I like a skirt steak. I think you can do it well on a grill. I think you can do it well cast iron. I do think that the marinade is right, and I just think it's easy. Boom, bop, bip, and done. I like it.
That's one thing I have never cooked with. I don't have one. Is a cast iron skillet.
Oh, come on.
I know.
Go get it.
So do you think I should
go... And you're now in the house.
Yes.
The new house, which he's not fully moved into yet, ladies and gentlemen, with the gas stove.
Yes.
This is weird. It's your first gas stove.
Yes. 38 years young, and it's my first gas stove. And I don't have this. So should I go?
Can we go back to 38 years young?
Let's just move on. Should I go ahead and buy a new cast iron skillet and season it? Or should I go antiquing, hope to find a really old one and recondition it?
Okay. I want you to listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
If you buy a used cast iron skillet,
I
will hit you.
With a skillet?
With said skillet. I think we've been saying cast iron stove. Cast iron skillet. Buy a new one, season it, work it in, give it time. Yes, that's exactly the way to do it.
But
take some pride.
What about the sense of accomplishment and satisfaction knowing that I brought an old cast iron skillet back to life?
How about the pride and satisfaction of one day showing up to the show ready to do the show? That would be great.
What are you saying?
Don't do that. Get yourself something. Get don't.
Aren't they like
Lord only knows what they were making in that thing. Don't you dare.
I'm envisioning
God.
that the old ranch cook was out there with his cast iron skillet making
Sonny.
Yes.
Sonny the ranch hand.
Yes, making some beans in the cast iron skillet for the boys while they're out there ranching all day. And then somehow, you know what? Sonny passed away. And then they thought, we can't use Sonny's skillet. And next thing you know, it's at Goodwill, waiting for me to pick it up and then bring her back to life. You're saying, no, that's ridiculous.
I'm not saying it's ridiculous. I want to be on the record. I'm not saying it's ridiculous.
You're saying it's ridiculous for me to do it.
I'm saying it's gross. There's a very large difference in ridiculous and gross. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm sure people do it. We're going to get emails from Eat, Drink, Smoke Nation saying, Tony, you are such a prima donna prude. You do this and you do that. And the next thing you know, you're cooking delicious. No.
Is it that it's cast iron, or is it you would never buy any secondhand cookware at all? Like, would you buy a secondhand chafing dish?
Yes. I bought secondhand knives. And I'm questioning whether the cast iron we had was secondhand now that you bring it up.
Oh, so here we are. You're turning Eat, Drink, Smoke into your own den of lies.
No, I'm going back to remember. And if it is indeed used, I have to stop using it immediately. I don't think it is. I think I bought it. Ours is good.
Present it. I'll take it to the boys in the lab.
Yeah.
And we'll find out how old it is. It's probably 70
great.
years old, and you didn't even know it.
It's so great that you don't have one. You know what? I will get you one.
No, you don't.
I will purchase you one.
You don't have to do that.
I want to. It'll be cheaper than the other gift I was going to get you for the new house.
Do you use a little spray in it before you cook in it?
I'm not having this conversation anymore. Go ahead, tell them what they're listening to.
This is Eat, Drink, Smoke. Follow Eat, Drink, Smoke on social media, on Twitter at Go Eat, Drink, Smoke, on Facebook, facebook.com/Eat, Drink, Smoke, and Instagram at Eat, Drink, Smoke Podcast. Hey, you made it all the way through to the end of this video. We're proud of you.
You should watch more of our videos. Make sure you subscribe right there to Eat, Drink, Smoke, wherever it is you get your videos, on YouTube, on Rumble, and don't forget Instagram, Eat, Drink, Smoke Podcast, where we've got the shorts and some very cool things going on.